Welcome to the Health Rant of the Week, episode 32. Hi, my name is Alejandro Flores, certified fitness and nutrition coach with Alex's Fitness. Today's episode is called Not a Dogma. Okay? What inspired me to make this episode is, well, the more you get into nutrition, the more you start seeing how people see nutrition as almost as an ideology or a question of even faith. All right, so and the reason why now specifically I decided to do this is because I've had a conversation with a couple of people. So for one, I was just watching I was watching videos or interviews with some of the people that I like that are making changes to people's lives through nutrition. Okay, but on the flip side, I talked to someone that I really just highly regard as someone that is another health practitioner who actually has a completely opposite vision of what nutrition is or should be or what it is not. The fact is that you are what you eat, and what you put into your body is going to in turn make your body and your health turn one way or the other, right? So you're going to either be healthy or you're going to be unhealthy based on what you eat. But the important thing is that the information that is out there, some people are doing their best, their absolute best to narrow it down and to turn it into almost like like an absolute truth. And it doesn't work like that, because as much as, yes, we're living organisms and beings, and we do certain nutrients to thrive more than just to stay alive, to thrive. And I have seen it firsthand. Like, I've been doing this for 6 years. I've been involved somehow for at least 25 years in everything that is fitness and nutrition, and people have always gravitated to me for advice on what to eat, how to eat, what what is my secret, whatever that is, and what do I do for fitness and things like that. Now, the more I get into the scientific part of things and I actively study nutrition, not only have I been certified, well, I've taken courses after courses, and just some of them short courses, so some of them actual certifications with very reputable institutes. I am a nutrition coach or nutritionist. I am not a dietitian. Full disclosure, I am not a dietitian. All right, so I did not go to college or university for that. I actually have got my certifications through nutrition specific institutes. Okay, so it's very interesting, and once again, the real motivation that I have that pushed me to do this today is because I do see some very, very very almost dogmatic, almost as if it's a religion, you're if you don't believe in God, you're the devil, that kind of thing when it comes to nutrition. And yes, I insist, I have seen the bulk of your body does need certain nutrients, macronutrients and micronutrients. So macronutrients like protein, carbohydrates, and fats in certain ratios to thrive. And it does need some micronutrients, so the vitamins, minerals, trace elements, and things like that, for you to be able to optimize all the processes in the body. That is true. Now, what I do see is when you start talking, so you go and you analyze, vegan, vegetarian, paleo, keto, carnivore, whatever, and everything else is pretty much variations of that, right? So, and you start seeing how certain people, not all of them, certain people have such rigid and almost, as I said, like ideological postures when it comes to nutrition, that they fail to even see, or they don't want to hear what you have to share if you disagree with the way that they do things, right? So almost to the point where it's, they don't even appreciate you or respect you if you think, I can measure my results in the hundreds of pounds lost, so I am not up for arguing what works or doesn't work. It's as simple as that. I can prove that something works, and I can prove it to you. I can prove it to you, like the vegan, the paleo, the keto, the what. I can prove it to you with your own results. I can prove it to you with my results, and I am always happy to become a guinea pig and say, like, well, what do you want to do? You want to like strictly go vegan? Like, I will do it for you. I'll show you. I'll do like blood test before and after, just so you can see how it works. I can do like body scans, like muscle density, bone density, subcutaneous fat, visceral fat, all that stuff before and after. All of that, I'm up for that. I mean, I am not dismissing anything. I don't like dismissing, because when you dismiss, you're getting into the dogma or the ideology realm, and it's just not the way it works. I do have my strong beliefs based on evidence, but that is a very narrow, tiny part of the whole universe of people that eat every day. I have seen them. Like I practice. Yes, I'm a big fan of fats. Yes, I'm a big fan of animal proteins. Yes, I'm a huge fan of vegetables. Yes, I'm a big fan of fasting, and I use it, and I use it successfully with my clients. And my clients get nothing but great results from doing that, to varying degrees. All right, so that's it. To say that I am keto, carnivore, paleo, or by the way, I've done mostly vegetarian for weeks at a time. I've never gone completely vegan, because not my beliefs, my studies keep me from doing that. Okay, I've never gone completely carnivore. Now that I am not thinking about trying that, I've done keto, I've done paleo with fantastic results. So, but that cannot be like, you're wrong. You're wrong. Why? Because you eat meat. Or you're wrong because you are, you're whatever. You eat only one source of protein, or you eat one source, or you don't eat fats, or it's, what? Ironically, the more some of the people that I have been, just because this is something that is new to me, some of the people that I have been doing lots of following and research and listening to are two of the biggest proponents of the carnivore diet, Dr. Jordan Peterson and Dr. Sean Baker. All right, those are kind of like the spokespeople, unintendedly spokespeople, just because they've drawn so much attention to this dietary approach. Now, what does that mean? I mean, it means that they have practiced it successfully. They have coached other people with specific symptomatology, like specific illnesses or conditions, and they have got over those conditions successfully and permanently by implementing this. Does that mean that I am actively pushing people to become carnivore? I said it. I haven't even done it myself. All right. No, absolutely not. I do have people that I like, clients, former clients that are vegetarian or vegan, or mostly vegetarian. So, and then my role is to coach them and to give them enough information so that they can nourish their bodies with their approach. If you told me Alejandro, I want you to help me because help me with my ratios, because I'm in the Twinkie and Coca-Cola diet. I'm going to say, like, you know what? Don't even, until you understand what nutrition is, don't even talk to me. Or if you're willing to understand what nutrition is, then we can have a chat. But don't even mention that. Like, oh, I'm on a processed food, only diet. Like, that is not a diet. That is just, that's just, the Russian roulette. That's what it is, right? So that is different. But whenever, or crash diets, like, oh, I had so much success with, whatever, like the tuna and pineapple juice diet. I lost 40 pounds. Where are you now? Well, I gained 50 pounds. Well, that means that you didn't have that success. Like, depriving your body of everything that is nutritious to it, except for basically sugar and protein, it's not making you healthy. And all I am about is health, right? But where I was going with this is some of the perceived most extreme approaches, like in the carnivore, actually have some of the most mildest speaking or spokespeople, in the sense I do know that, for example, Sean Baker is not a big fan of I think it's Greyer, the guy that says that if you are not vegan, you're stupid and you're gonna die. So that's really bad for a doctor to begin with. I mean, nutritionfacts.org or something like that. Like, that is just completely wrong. I mean, just because you have a guy that has a mild approach, and my whole comment was, Sean Baker said, as a doctor, one thing that most doctors don't even agree with today, which is absolute common sense. He said, like, listen, you have to implement the right approach for your body. As in, like, some people are more like easier fat adapted, some people are more carb tolerant than others, and then they metabolize like carbs like eat more easily, and they don't get gassy and all that stuff. They don't get like discomfort and bloatiness and stuff. I get it. If you are someone like that, you can increase your carb intake and things like that. You can just go easy on you see the whatever, like the Japanese, and you see some other cultures like the Inuits, like they're like polar opposite ends of the spectrum. Some of them, like, just one eats like high carbs, a little protein, and like protein and fat are pretty much about the same, where the others are like all fat and protein and zero carbs, completely, that kind of thing, right? So this guy says, like, you as a person, and this is a doctor, and most doctors should be telling you this. When you go and have your blood test, you have your annual or like biannual or semi-annual checkup, and your doctor says, you're like, doctor, I don't feel well, I don't feel good. I mean, there's something wrong with me. And they see all they do is they pull up your blood test, which is a pretty general blood test, by the way, just to say like cholesterol. But just cholesterol by itself means absolutely nothing. Even the like LDL, HDL, maybe the VLDL will just tell science. But now that we know that like high cholesterol will not give you heart disease, for example, like just looking at your cholesterol and your hemoglobin and things like that, and just looking at the standard test and saying you're perfectly fine. You're perfectly fine. Like there's you cannot be feeling like, you're not going to tell me that I'm not feeling well. I am telling you that I'm not feeling well. Like, just don't look at like some metrics and tell me that I don't feel well. The approach should be like, whatever you feel is not in these metrics, so we need to dig deeper. Well, Dr. Sean Baker, pretty extreme because he's a carnivore. It's like almost like red meat and fat only. That's what he says himself. He's like, listen, I have used this therapeutically, and people feel good. Their symptoms from autoimmune disease go away. Like he said, Jordan Peterson, the same thing. Him and his daughter, Michaela, like they actually got over like things like gum disease and autoimmune disease and things like that for good, permanently. And just by using that. But Jordan Peterson was like, he starts his lectures by saying, I am not advocating. I'm just sharing my experience. That's a reasonable thing for a doctor to say. That is the logical thing for a doctor to say. Whereas if you go to Dr. Grier or Dr. Bernard, for example, like very, very big, well-respected doctors within the vegan community and within the medical community, they're like, there's something wrong with you. Why are you still like eating meat? Well, why not? Why not? I'm healthier. I'm healthier than the average person, than the average North American, the average American, or the average person my age. You know, I'm healthier, stronger, leaner. You know, like I have, like I am, like I look younger. Why would I not? Why would I not? And then they're like, there's it's the complete opposite. There's something wrong with you, even if you don't feel it. It's a silent killer. What silent killer? My all those stupid metrics that people like, that we still go by today, like my LDL, HDL, they're phenomenal. Like my VLDL is phenomenal. Like my visceral fat is way below what a person, or like I'm like on 5%, like or 95% or whatever it is, at the very very top when it comes to my visceral fat. How can you tell there's something wrong with me if by the same metrics that you dismiss someone feeling bad or poorly, you are telling me that, you know, you should be feeling, or there's something wrong with you, or you're going to have a heart attack, even if the same stuff that they preach to tell you not to eat a certain nutrient or a certain type of food is showing you what you measure people by. It's showing you that I am actually healthier than the vast majority of the people that you treat, even with the nutritional protocol that you preach. So the whole thing is it's become something like a dogma, you know, or ideology. Nutrition is not about ideology. Nutrition is about you give your body the things that your body needs in varying degrees, and you get healthier. How do you get healthier? Well, you want to do it like that. You want to do body scans. You want to do like blood tests, like urine tests, you know, stool tests, whatever it is, stool samples, and all, like any type of lab. You go in and have your HbA1c measured. You have like your whatever, your cholesterol, whatever it is. Even the things that are not necessarily that relevant anymore, but they still are pretty present and pretty popular. And you have, and your results come around. You feel great. You look great. You're younger than the average person your age. You are like your biological age is actually much lower than your chronological age. How can you tell? Oh, you're telling me that I am sick because I'm not vegan? How? I have no vitamin D deficiencies. I have no deficiencies of any type of vitamins whatsoever. Just because I am eating something that you're against? Give me a break. You know, like, I think we have to, once again, it's interesting that you have the polar opposites, and you have like what is ethically correct, according to some, about 3% of the US population, by the way, which is only eating things that come from the ground. And I actually empathize with that a lot. You know, I do. And this is something that I have said, although I am a huge fan of keto, I'm a huge fan of paleo, more toward the keto than anything. And I am actually willing to give a try to the carnivore. But I have said this before, and I'm going to say it again. If I could derive and fulfill all my nutritional requirements from plants only, I would. Absolutely. I love them. I do love them. All right? But unfortunately, it's not the case. All right? So yes, you can see that I do have a preference, but my preference is not dogma. Is I will give you all the information so you can make an informed decision, and to tweak, like I always do with my clients, so that you can make your nutrition work for you. Okay? For you. But it is not a religion. It is not a religion. I get that. You can say, like, yeah, this little piggy is not food, it's a friend, or the fishies are your friends, not your meals. I get that, so I respect that. You're like, if it's ethically your motivation, I'm not going to argue with that. If it's an ethical drive, I am not going to argue with that. If it's like health wise, you know what? Just you have to have the right information, and you're not just going to push it on me, because I have seen people eating various different approaches having absolutely outstanding results. I've had one of my best clients, 165 pounds lost, and he still eats carbs. He has been embracing the fasting a lot. He has more than average protein intake. He's just about like shifting the way that he eats, more than what he eats a little bit. 165 pounds. Another one of like 63 pounds. Like, she actually does more like a paleo approach. All right, she's pretty loose on the fats. She doesn't eat any processed anything, and 63 pounds. I do know people that have done pretty well with vegan supplementing. By the way, that's non-negotiable. Supplementing, getting like B12 and this, and getting what they don't get, like creatine and things like that you don't get from vegetables and things like that, just so you can round up your amino acid profiles, and they still do well. They're not overly muscular. They do well, right? But that cannot be like, the discussion is like, you are a monster because you don't eat what I eat, or you are, you know what? We're animals. We're designed a certain way, and you have to respect that. Your dogma is not going to change that. There's 200,000 years of evolution only in the subspecies that we belong to that has made us the way we are. Okay? So we have different types of teeth for different types of of foods, and there's a reason for that. It's not a coincidence. So you want to believe that you're better off a certain way, okay? Sure. Does it work? My favorite question is, how is it working out? The same thing I tell people in New Year's, like, oh no, like I know that what works is like my hour and a half, bout of cardio 5 times a week for as long as I can take it, because that's what worked before. Okay, are you leaner than ever before? Are you as healthy as you can be? Well, no, that's why I'm back in the gym. Well, it means it didn't work out. It didn't work out. All right, so you have to be open-minded. Don't make it a dogma. You have to come up with, you can just overrule or overlook, just the science. It's not opinion, it's science. Your body will behave a certain way when you give it certain foods and nutrients, and that is that. Now, your body and my body are not necessarily, even though we're the same subspecies, we're not necessarily going to feel the same way with the same amount of carbohydrates and fats and protein, right? But you are like, there's like ethnicity that makes a difference, and climate makes a difference, and you want to play with that. Actually, you do want to play with that. The reason why, like, certain countries and ethnicities, for example, in Asia, Southeast Asia, in Asia and the Pacific as well, have like outstanding, like huge, like overwhelming, not outstanding, like overwhelming amounts of visceral fat, and they are huge in diabetes, like type 2 diabetes. What does it mean? That what you're eating culturally is not serving you well. Why push it? Why not do something different? All right? It's the same way that ethnicity will play a role in your like how well you digest or metabolize certain nutrients. It also plays a role in your predisposition to become or to have certain illnesses, right? So you want to make sure that you acknowledge that, because not acknowledging or having the dogmatic approach doesn't make a difference to you. It's not working for you. Remember, how is it working out? How's it working? I've eaten this. I'm still alive, and I've eaten like the same way for my whole life. How is it working out? Are you feeling good? Are you active, alert, lean, young? How's your skin? How's your eyesight? How's like all those things? If it's working and you are at the peak of your health, keep it up. Whatever approach you're using, okay? So have an open mind, be willing to change, because what you are doing right now may just not serve you, okay? Forget about ideologies, forget about dogma. Your body needs certain things that if your body doesn't get, you cannot be healthy, okay? So I hope this one was eye-opening. That's what I'm trying to do with these. Once again, my name is Alejandro Fleury, certified fitness and nutrition coach with Altus Fitness. Please remember to comment, like, and subscribe. All right? See you around. Thank you.